am Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today we're going to talk about the month of March, which this has been a long-awaited time period because I have to say, this is the beginning starting point of all the major changes and transformations that are due to be happening between now, 2019, and 2020. We have all been thinking and wondering, what is 2020 going to bring? And as an astrologer, we all know this is one of the most, if not the most important time to be alive and transform our lives. So there are so many things coming up this month. First of all, around early part of this month, and of course it depends on if you're using the true or the mean node of Rahu and Ketu. The north node of the moon is Rahu, the south node of the moon is Ketu. And wherever they are where the eclipses are occurring for the next 18 months. So Rahu and Ketu are about to shift. Rahu is going to move into Gemini and Ketu is going to go into the sign of Sagittarius. They will be there for a year and a half. So March of 2019, this month, through September of 2020, we're going to experience this major transformational time. And let me go back to the last times that we had Rahu in the sign of Gemini and Ketu in Sagittarius. They take 18 and a half years to go through all 12 signs of the zodiac. So the very last time that they were in Gemini and Sagittarius was in the year of 2001. And going back 18 and a half years prior to that, we're looking at 1983, 18 and a half years prior to that, 1963. And going back 18 and a half years ago from that, we come to the year of 1945. Each one of those years were totally monumental and specific in terms of events that affected the world, but particularly the United States of America. 2001 was September 11th. We all know what happened that year. Going back to 1982 was the onset of the AIDS virus, which killed more people throughout history than any other event. Going back 18 and a half years ago from that, 1963 was the assassination of President Kennedy. 1945 was the bombing of Hiroshima. So we can see how eventful and how much change occurred that was of an explosive value and event during the times that we have the nodes of the moon in these signs. So eclipses always surface things that we didn't know about. This is always about something, hidden issues. Because remember what we're talking about with the eclipses. Where Rahu and Ketu are create the eclipses of the sun and the moon. And we're going to have a major solar eclipse this July and another one in December of this year, 2019. And around these times, we're going to have huge events that will affect our world. And I might say, going back, looking at these time periods, each time we had a faster moving planet or another planet come together with these eclipse points are when the events occurred. So just looking forward this year to the months of May and June, particularly May 8th through June 24th, we are going to have Mars join Rahu in Gemini, but it will also oppose Saturn, which is coming together with Ketu this year. These are giant astrological effects. So watch the months of May and June. They will be very intense. Going to the month of February of 2020, Mars will again go all the way to the opposing sign in Sagittarius with Ketu Saturn. These will be the huge turning points. But this month, we have so many events I need to tell you about. You need to know what's going to be happening this month because it is extreme. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the Rahu Ketu sign. But not only that, when they change, they affect the economy. You're going to see a big change economically. The trends are going to begin this month of March. Watch how things begin to shift. I'm not predicting a crash. I'm predicting an extreme downfall in volatility throughout the year. So that's been basically happening. But it's going to take on a different feeling, a different note. Because what happens when the nodes change signs, they dig up the things from the past. And let me point out, this is not only globally and in the world. This affects you personally in your own life. Go back 18 and a half years ago to the year of 2001 and see what was going on for you. There will be a similar effect now. This is huge, and this can create one of the biggest healings and transformations in your own personal life if you will open to the truth. We'll get to that. Let me go over a few more things that I see happening this month to give you an idea of how huge this change is. So Jupiter is going to be Gandanta. What does Gandanta mean? When Jupiter is in the last final signs of a water sign, the last few degrees, and the very first few degrees of a fire sign. So as Jupiter starts to slow down and station before it goes retrograde, it will be in the last degrees of Scorpio, water sign. And it will station and remain at 0 degrees of Sagittarius, beginning the end of this month and throughout April. Expect huge severe changes in the weather. There's going to be drownings, there's going to be floodings, there's going to be natural disasters that we have never seen all around the world. Remember this also, Jupiter is stationing in the very last degrees of Scorpio. This has been recognized as one of the most treacherous points of the zodiac. This is in the tail of the scorpion. This is nasty. So watch how this purges all of the emotions around the world. Scorpio is probably one of the most intensely emotional signs of all. Everyone is reacting. Everyone is emotional. Everyone is fearful. And everyone is angry. This is what's purging up from what has been repressed and denied for so very long. Now's the time. So Gandanta, which is watch the weather. This is floods, rains, intense. So the next thing that is happening throughout most of this month is Mercury will be retrograde in Pisces. So here we go. Mercury is going to be in another water sign. And also remember, I am talking about the sidereal Vedic zodiac, which I use instead of the Western tropical zodiac. This is the true placements of where the planets are relative to the stars. This is why I use sidereal astrology. So looking at Mercury retrograde, Mercury is going to be retrograde from March 5th through March 28th. And watch while Mercury is retrograde because it's going to shift from Pisces, which yes, it's going to go backwards into the sign of Aquarius. And what's fascinating is Mercury is going to station conjunct Neptune around 21, 22 degrees of Aquarius. This is surfacing so many things out of the dark we didn't know about. Neptune is about secrets and it's about denials. and watch how all of the corruption and things from the past suddenly come up, things that we never dreamed were going on. And this is not only in the political world, but also in your own life. So look at these things. Now, another thing is the new moon this month. We have a new moon that is going to occur conjunct Neptune, 21 degrees, 22 degrees of Aquarius. Now, the new moon will be on March 6th. And March 5th, Mercury turns retrograde. But around the end of the month, around the 28th, Mercury will station to go direct conjunct Neptune. Neptune is always denials and secrets. Watch how this is uncovered. And remember, whenever we talk about Mercury retrograde, it is a time to review, reanalyze, reflect things, everything with RE. It's a time of going back, not forward. And that's why so many things go haywire and get messed up when Mercury's retrograde, because we don't take the time to slow down and reflect. We always push forward. And that's what causes computer glitches, airline delays, problems with your car, problems with machinery. Everything goes haywire. And we become more forgetful because it is a time of reflection, pulling back, not forward motion. So the next thing that's happening this month is Saturn's going to conjunct Pluto. Not only that, Ketu is coming together with Pluto. What is Pluto? Pluto is the traditions, and they're breaking down. And Saturn is in the sign of Sagittarius, which rules religion, which rules spirituality. And Saturn is reality and truth. So what's happening is there is the tumbling, the end and dissolving of all the old traditions that don't work anymore, particularly with spiritual beliefs and religions. That is why you're seeing the downturn of the Catholic Church. And don't forget, this involves all of the churches, because all of this is man-made laws and rules that it's about time that the truth come out. And what is the truth? Really, the truth is within us. It's not out there. And if we choose to truly look within ourselves, we will see that we are all divinely connected to the spirit of oneness, which is that unity. If you want to call it God, if you want to call it the divine, if you want to call it any of the names perceived, that is the divine power that connects us all. That is the truth. And that really does boil down to one basic premise, and that's within our hearts. Realize this, that all of the spiritual traditions of truth have always recognized and told us that God, that spirit of the divine, resides in all of us. The kingdom of God is within. Where is it? In the heart. The heart is where that energy is. Read the Upanishads, the Indian scriptures. The divine is within all of us in our heart. What is the heart energy? Love, compassion, gratitude. These are the beautiful aspects of life. And what is happening so much right now are so many people are in this mode of extreme emotion. That's what all of these variables astrologically are predicting, that emotions are being purged up and felt. And emotions, the most powerful healing emotion is love. That's what we need to be connecting to. But the angers, the frustration, what is at the culprit of those that have such deep feelings of unhappiness? It all boils down to one thing, at some point in their childhood or past lives, or something to do with their past, that really does filter how they perceive the world. They didn't feel loved or wanted. It always boils down to the principle of love. And because of that, they never felt this self-love. They never felt the connection because of the hurt that happened early on, and that's how they perceive the world. Therefore, they project what they feel outward onto the world. So the world is merely a reflection of what we have within. And it's based on our emotions, our feelings, which are formed in our past. So it is really time that you do some self-evaluation this month to recognize and see what it is within you that's causing this unhappiness. Because those people that deny this is all about the surfacing of what we deny, or what we have been denying our whole life. And if we can recognize and see this, it will heal. Because all disease, all problems, all hurt, all pain comes from the emotional body. And it comes from the lack of love. And we can choose differently now. It's up to you. If you feel anger, if you feel mistrust, you will see it out in your world, because you are projecting that outward. If you feel these emotions, people will respond to you with the similar emotions through relationships. And you can choose differently. Come from a place of compassion, love, and not only that, for yourself. And what happens is it's mirrored back to you. You will feel these emotions, and most of all, you can change what is due in the onset of what is happening to humanity this very month of 2019, March, because this is where the changes are going to be obvious. This is going to be where the human emotion starts to stir everything in the world. The weather, the storms, it's all based on human emotion. All these feelings out there affect everyone. This is what's happening. This is the state of the world, all the unhappiness that people project. People project all of what they are out there and blame the outside world for something that they are really about within their hearts and within their souls. So many people have heart disease. Why? Because it's a lack of love, brokenheartedness, through hurt, through pain, through relationships, through family. It's time to pull together and reconnect all of this. Because that is the whole mission of why we are here on this earth. It is all about our spiritual transformation, to recognize the divinity within our heart and the love, and to give that out to others because we feel it within ourselves. This will create a life of joy and happiness. And this is what we're all seeking and looking for. So with this, we have a lot to think about. The Mercury retrograde, Jupiter Gandanta, Rahu and Ketu shifting signs, Saturn and Ketu coming together, Pluto and Saturn coming together. The whole world is opening, dissolving, and cracking. And it's all for the higher good of a spiritual revolution that is about to take place in the course of the next year and a half. So be prepared, be ready, and work on yourself. The points of eclipses will reveal the truth, and that's what I'm looking forward to in this coming year, and particularly the thoughts and the feelings. Change, work on your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, your heart. And the world will be a brighter place. So if you would like to learn more about me, if you would like a reading, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org, O-R-G, or if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, I have a university, University of Vedic vedicastrology.com. And if you would like to receive my free newsletter, go to my website, galacticcenter.org, sign up for the newsletter, and you will get a written transcript of this entire dissertation. Thank you.